Previously, I showed you how to mount the phone in this position in my Hyundai Ioniq 5. It is easily the best option to mount the phone. You get to see the phone as well as control everything. Sadly, there is no USB-C charging anywhere near that slot. Officially, you're supposed to plug in the USB cable here and then run it around the steering wheel and land here. That's a lot of cables all over the place. And one time, my cable got snagged into this little slot right here. Once it's in that slot, there's no way you can turn the steering wheel left or right. That's very dangerous if it ever accidentally goes into that slot, which it did one time for me. So today, I'm going to show you how to install a USB charging cable right nearby this left-hand corner of the dashboard. But before we get to that, we need to talk about this module right here. On the right-hand side, you'll see it's clearly marked as minus and plus. This is where you feed it 6 volts to 35 volt DC. And on the other side, the left side, where you can see the USB-A and USB-C slot, that's where we'll be feeding our cable in to power up our phone. Here's a closer look at the units. Originally, there was no wire whatsoever. I had to solder in the red cable and the yellow as well. This is where you plug in your USB-C cable or USB-A cable. Personally, I prefer the USB-A. And I also 3D printed this box. It's very simple. All you have to do is slide it in. And then use 3mm bolts, M3 bolts to secure it to make sure that it doesn't slide out. It doesn't really slide out because the USB-A is holding it tight, but just in case, you never know. Next up, I need to show you something about fuse tab. That's right, on this left-hand side of the driver, near your knees, you'll see a box, a cover. All you have to do is pull it out, and then you'll see a bunch of fuses inside there. Lots of them. We need to look at this fuse right here. It's labeled 15. This is USB connections, by the way. Normally, when the car is off, there should be no power coming out of it. And this is exactly what I want too, by the way, because I don't want to tap into the car's battery and then drain it completely off. Using a voltmeter or a multimeter, you can verify that everything is off when the car is off. So using the red tap, I'm going to tap into the fuse. And for the black tap, I'm going to tap it into the frame of the car. That way we can get a circuit going and verify that there is absolutely no voltage whatsoever. See, looking at the multimeter, you can see that it's barely any voltage. Next up, I'm going to power up the car and do the same thing. Verify that the fuse is outputting 12 volts indeed. We got the black end going into the frame of the car and the red end going into the fuse. On the blue fuse itself, or any fuse, you can see that there's a little metal piece in there. Just get your red metal end into that little groove and verify on the multimeter that yes, you are indeed getting 12 volts or greater. Usually it should be 14 volts if the 12 volt battery is fully charged. Now that we know that that specific fuse is outputting 12 volts, it's time to add the fuse tap in to get 12 volts out of it. Or should I say share 12 volts with other devices, in this case the USB charger. So go ahead and use the fuse tool remover, clip it in, and then pull it out. Before inserting the fuse tap in, it's best that we insert that fuse that we pop out into the bottom position, because we still want to use the car's existing USB or whatever devices that you want to use it. Go ahead and insert the fuse tap in. Orientation does not matter, whether it's going to the left or going to the right. I don't know why people say orientation matter, but for me, it does not matter. I found that ground is directly in front of me, which is right here, by the way. The 3D printed cases conveniently fit into this position right here. Here you can see the final result. The USB-A cable is now plugged in on one end. The other end is of course, the USB-C going into my phone. Of the USB module is connected to the red core of the power line. Meanwhile, the yellow core of the USB module is now connected into the frame to get power. Here you can see I'm using a simple binder clip to hold the ground into position into the frame. Remember, everything I do must be reversible because I don't want Hyundai to think that I hacked the car and then void my warranty. You can run the USB-C end to the little groove near the steering wheel, near the front, near the vents, and then run it all the way out there. In the future, most likely I'm going to 3D print something to snap it in to hide all of this. Once you're done, this is what it looks like. Whenever I need the USB-C cable to charge, I just grab it out. If I don't need it, just push it back into the hole. Here's another shot of the final results. It's coming out of that hole and into the phone. I know that doesn't look super clean right now. Maybe using a USB-C 90-degree right angle will be much better. But for now, it's pretty good. Once the car is powered on, you can see that the phone light comes on instantly to let you know that it's being charged. It is fast charging, by the way. It's not slow charging like the one that came with the car. By the way, if you're curious where the tool to remove the fuse is located, go ahead and pop the hood. It's on the right hand side in this fuse box. Just remove the cover and then you'll see it right here. Now that we're done with it, go ahead and pop it back into position or else you're going to lose it. And then put the cover back on. I know that we cover a lot in this video with the USB-C PD module, fuse tap methods to tap into your fuse box to get 12 volts to power anything. In this case, it's a USB charger, or you can use that as powering up your LED lights as well. I've seen some videos of people doing that and it looks really slick. Or you can use the fuse tap method to power up your cameras to let it run continuously 24/7. Which I highly don't recommend, but people are doing that when they're parking their car, for instance. Alright, hopefully this video helps you on how to add more USB charging plugs, charging ports in your car. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and thanks for watching.